On the 9th of March 2004, Nottingham Express Transit Line 1 was officially opened to the public, with all of the usual pomp and ceremony. But the story of this 14-kilometre tramway started nearly 20 years earlier. Work starts in June 2000. It will take around 3.5 million working hours to complete. First, over 100,000 metres of pipes and cables have to be moved away from the tram's path. For the first year, the project mainly involves this kind of work, relocating utility services to make way for the tram. Extensive traffic management arrangements are needed to keep the city moving. Next, work begins on the tram infrastructure itself, and diggers and trucks become a familiar sight around Nottingham. One of the first noticeable structures is the embankment off Wilkinson Street, which allows trams to ramp down from the on-street section to run alongside the Robin Hood line. Nearby, Net's state-of-the-art depot begins to rise from the ground on an area of industrial wasteland, which had been decontaminated in preparation for the depot, as well as one of Net's park and ride sites. First, the piles are driven and foundations laid. And then the shell of the building begins to take shape. Servicing and maintenance bays, together with offices and the all-important control room, will soon follow. Connecting the terminus at the railway station and the first street-running section of the tramway means building a viaduct, a major civil engineering project in its own right. It involves bringing 20 concrete beams, each 20 metres long and weighing 30 tons, into Nottingham by lorry at night. Huge cranes then lift the beams into place on the newly built structure. And a concrete surface is laid. The viaduct will eventually have a tram stop on it, serving a greatly expanded Broadmarsh shopping centre. Meanwhile, the important business of laying tram tracks gets underway in earnest. The magnitude of the project, the most significant Nottingham has seen for many years, becomes apparent as work takes place in a series of large but contained work sites in the heart of the city and in the suburbs. The sites involve a range of different environments, each posing its own engineering issues. The scale of the project is huge. Around 100,000 tons of concrete are used, along with over 500 temporary signs and 2,500 metres of temporary fencing. In a very precise operation, the lengths of rail are welded together, using a method which ensures a smooth ride for passengers. The rails are then set into concrete, and the roads around them resurfaced, using a total of 150,000 square metres of tarmac. Something resembling a tram system begins to emerge. With the viaduct nearing completion, a bridge is constructed to span Canal Street, one of the main roads into Nottingham. Building the bridge involves 6 steel beams totalling 536 tons and measuring 152 metres end to end, being lifted into place and fixed with 3,200 bolts. The impressive structure links the new viaduct with a modified old railway viaduct where trams terminate next to Nottingham Station. The stylish design and important finishing touches help to make the bridge a local landmark. Tram systems run on electricity, which makes them a more sustainable form of transport. But installing the vital power system requires another great feat of engineering. 6 substations are constructed along the route. These convert the electricity to 750 volts DC. The overhead cables, or catenary, are hung at night to reduce traffic disruption. Wherever possible, building fixings are used to reduce the visual impact of the system. Now net is really starting to take shape. Away from the bustle of the city, extensive work is underway on the 10-kilometre off-road stretch of Line 1. The section alongside the Robin Hood line between the depot and Hucknall, as well as the spur line out towards junction 26 of the M1, needs to have tracks laid, bridges and culverts built, signals installed, and new tram stops constructed. Some alterations are made to the Robin Hood line itself, which means diverting services for 12 days for a big push to get the work done. In total, 44 kilometres of rail and 60,000 tonnes of ballast are laid. It is a huge undertaking. One key element of the development of net is the communications campaign, which ensures the public is kept well informed. A highlight of this is the unveiling of a full-scale replica of the tram in the city centre.
1, 2, 3!
While the public are getting a sneak preview, the real things are taking shape a few miles away at Bombardier's workshops in Derby. Once completed, the trams undergo hours of trials on the test track, and they are given the official seal of approval by Transport Minister John Speller. In the small hours of the morning, the first of the new trams is taken to Nottingham by road. Slowly, the tram is winched from the transporter onto the track, a process requiring both precision and patience. Under watchful eyes, it takes pride of place in its new home. The depot is where the trams are stabled overnight and where they undergo rigorous cleaning and regular maintenance. It is also from here that the tram system is controlled in NET's nerve centre.
You are now clear to proceed to Wilkinson Street, the depot entry. Over.
The control room uses the latest operating and safety systems and has a CCTV system which monitors every tram stop. After a little over 3 years, NET is ready to be tested and its drivers trained. In September 2003, the first tram for 67 years runs through Nottingham city centre. A momentous occasion for NET and a historic day for Nottingham, one which draws the full attention of the media. 6 months later, and it is finally time to celebrate the completion of NET Line 1. The Minister for Transport, Alistair Darling, lays a commemorative flagstone to mark the event and gives NET his full support.
Well, it does give me a great deal of pleasure to be here in Nottingham today.
The people of Nottingham turn out in force to give NET their support too. Since opening, NET Line 1 has proved extremely popular with the public and has met its targets for passenger numbers, punctuality and reliability. It's also encouraging the use of joint ticketing options. Line 1 now plays a key role in the city's integrated transport system, linking up with trains and buses and with cars at 5 park and ride sites. It connects Nottingham Station and city centre with its inner city suburbs and the former mining areas to the north. The 15 trams in the current fleet provide a smooth, comfortable ride in stylish, spacious vehicles. They feature 100% low floor throughout, so it's easy for everyone to get on and off. They have wheelchair spaces, audio and visual announcements, including external displays. They have the ability to climb the many steep gradients along the route. And they have 3 separate braking systems to ensure safety. More importantly perhaps, they run a fast, frequent, reliable service from early morning to late at night. Net has transformed the look of Nottingham and become a status symbol for a city which is going places. It has also become a way of life, something the people who live and work in the city couldn't imagine being without. Nottingham Express Transit, well worth waiting for.